Hey everybody, this is Todd Franco talking to you about Greatest Golfer 2020. Thrilled to get the chance to talk to you today. Thrilled to talk at all about having Greatest Golfer, knowing what all of us have been through. And with that, we're just getting finished up with Mother's Day here in Francoville, and time to start getting on to the next opportunity for us. First and foremost, again, thrilled to be able to talk about Greatest Golfer, given what we've been going through the last 2 months. First, to those of you who suffered some health challenges and some loss of family members, our sincere regrets for what you've gone through. To our medical community, we've got some friends, doctors, nurses, we've got Greatest Golfer folks who are in the medical field. Thank you so much for what you've gone through. For the workplaces that have been able to stay open through this and manage a way to keep selling us groceries and keep delivering product, we're grateful for your services. And to everyone else who's just trying to figure out a way to live. We'll get through this. A little patience, some opportunity to just give folks a chance. Some of us want to be wearing masks. Some of us want to be squirting sanitizer. Others want to be hanging around with 20 people side by side. I think we got a lot of challenges going forward, and let's just express some patience, and we'll get through this. In terms of Greatest Golfer, and part of our conversations the last 8 weeks, one of the first things I talked with our courses and our sponsors is that if it's best for everybody, for Greatest to take a year off, I will be fine with that. So just know from our point, Greatest Golfer, we were ready to put it on the shelf and take a break as society tries to regroup. That said, as the cancellations and society started to roll to a halt, the class of 2020, the events at Cavelli Center, the Y Live concert, all the summer food festivals and such, what got in my head was that as much as we're going to hold back on living this year because of COVID, I am so eager for one part of our lives to be normal. And I think that's where golf just happens to have that role and function of how it can operate, that it actually can operate pretty well with a COVID social distancing lifestyle. And that said, if golf can operate, then I'm pretty comfortable that we can make Greatest happen as well. And when you look at all the cancellations and the things we've had to stop in order to figure out what's going on here with the virus, the things we've had to stop became kind of a passion of mine over the last 3 or 4 weeks to say, let's figure out a way to make Greatest happen just so that some normal part of our tradition and our summer legacy can continue on. So please know that Greatest was going to be put on a shelf if it was the safest thing to do. But also there was a streak within us, that competitive person that wants to nail that 20-foot putt on number 18. There was that competitive streak within us that said, hey, if we can make this happen, given all that's going on, it'd be such a cool win for the Valley and for the courses and for the golf community. So here we are, it's Mother's Day, and we are ready to go with Greatest 2020. First off, it's in Youngstown. It's the normal schedule, and I'll talk about that in a second. We are trying to get Greatest Golfer in a year or two going in Columbus, and we're also trying to launch Greatest DC this year. And all of the events come really down to just getting the sponsors lined up and being able to fund it. So we'll talk about that in a second. But let's talk first about Greatest Golfer Youngstown. Juniors kicks us off June 9th, and it's the same junior series as we've known. Golfers age 12 to 17 competing, 6 qualifier events. We'll be at Pine Lakes, we'll be at Tam O'Shanter, we'll be at Reserve, we'll be at Avalon Lakes, Avalon Squaw, we'll be at Mill Creek. And then the final championship will be split between Avalon Squaw and Avalon Lakes. It's been our circuit for the last 8 years or so. We're business as usual. The Scramble Series, the Coors Light Scramble Series, kicks off again as well. Our plan A is to run the scrambles as we always have. 24 qualifier series of 24 great charities in the Valley, and those winners all gathering with us in the second week in August to have the Coors Light Greatest Scramble Championship. Plan A is still to go that route. Plan B would be to work with the charities as we always have, but maybe use their teams from last year and invite them back to defend for a title. And then Plan C would be to have a all-call wild card, swing what you bring, invite the greatest players from last year's Sunday finals of the Lake Club to form their teams. So we have an A, B, and C option that we're looking at for the scrambles. the greatest long drive and the greatest par 3, which we started last year in the par 3 event. We expect those to happen as usual. And all that gets to the 3-day adult tournament that we've had going on. This will be year 11 for that. So that's the greatest Youngstown calendar, and we expect that to happen. Watch thegreatestgolfer.com. That's where all the information will be. There's an email sign up on that website. Get the email, please. The email is the best way to stay in contact with us. And then the folks in Columbus, we are working with the City of Columbus to again host an event, this time at Champions Course as well as at Mental Memorial. And the issue with there is just trying to see if we can still muster up enough sponsor dollars after the shakeout from all the COVID stuff. We'll talk about dollars in a second. And then our partner in Greatest, our software web development team, is based out of Maryland. And they have a great program called Golf League Site. And through that program, they've got a great system going in Maryland. So that gives us the thought of why open up a Maryland office, because through a partnership with them, we have access to about 2,000 golfers. So we are looking to get Greatest DC started the first week in October is our plan for that. That comes down to try and secure sponsors. If we can get about 3 or 4 sponsors at $2,000 a piece, I think we can run a modest event. So that's what we're looking for Columbus as well as for the DC event to get launched. So where Greatest stands now, our big thing is just securing funding. We have enough dollars in Youngstown to get an adequate event off. The goal with Greatest has always been to grab this sizable sports community, inject some competition, and bundle it all into a content package, both digital, online, on-site, but also with the Vindicator, so that it appeals to the sponsors. With the sponsors then funding a lot of the golf costs so that the player costs can stay at a nice meat and potatoes point that we all love. You guys know there's golf events out there, and they're pretty pricey. The junior families will go pay $150 to $200 entry fees for some of these events. Greatest Golfer is proudly cheap. It's proudly Valley, and we are eager to keep that cost, which means we have to support our sponsors and work within the sponsor dollars we have. We are thrilled to have a lot of our sponsors coming back. We're going to lose some, but we have a lot of our sponsors coming back. And the first one who's been able to definitely agree to stay consistent with what they've been is Coors Light and the Superior Beverage folks. So we're thrilled to have them. Our other sponsors right now are kind of re-budgeting because of COVID, and we expect to be finalizing our dollar figures over the next week or so. So with that, once our sponsor dollars roll in, that will have a final effect on what we can do for the players and for the event and what kind of chutzpah we can give it. The appeal of the sponsors, the appeal of the golfers, the big mission in Greatest is, again, it's this common community. And we've been striving for that since day one, when it was in the Vindy. And the thought is that golf is such a sizable community. There's a lot of like-minded folks who enjoy the idea of air and competition and green space. And we can build enough of a base and enough of a partnership with the golfers and the courses that we can appeal to sponsors. It becomes almost our self-contained community. So that is still our goal. With the Vindicator closed, we are looking to improve our content cycle. We're talking with the local media to have them as a partner this summer. We hope to finalize that over the next couple weeks. But in addition, thegreatestgolfer.com, the Greatest Golfer Facebook, the Greatest Golfer Instagram, if we all get the entire golf community, and not just our member courses, but all of our partner courses, the Tamerwins, the Kensingtons, the Lakeviews, the Old Dutches, if we can get all the courses in the Valley to link up, we can start making that community base that will make such a vibrant community for all golf, not just Greatest events. One of our hopes this year is that Greatest grows beyond just an event business and becomes the heart and soul of the entire golf community. If you go to our website or been watching it, you'll see news on all the hole-in-ones. You'll see news on staff changes at various courses. So our goal in the summer of 2020, while getting the events off, is to also grow this whole community around golf, but recognize that golfers are great citizens. So if we can get us all wrapped nicely under this umbrella of golf, I think we can do some amazing things. So that's kind of where Greatest has been. Before COVID, we were actually off to a couple great things that I want to share with you. We have a cool charity component that we're going to add to Greatest this year. It's pretty outstanding. I'm fans of our friends over at Cavelli Enterprises and the Panerathon. And I always wanted to say, man, if I can get a golf event that matches what they do with Panerathon, and I think we have one. It's not going to be 10,000 people, but it's going to be some select golfers doing a pretty amazing feat to raise money for charity. We're finalizing some details now, so stay tuned for that. So we had this charity idea going. That was one thing. Greatest Golfer had the website going, greatestgolfer.com. It's, again, designed to be a complete community golf source, not just events. All golf news is what we're going for. Give us 6 to 12 months to kind of build that out, but I think you'll start to see bits and pieces of it. The other thing that we have launched with Greatest is a handicap system. If you go to thegreatestgolfer.com and go along the top nav bar, you'll see a handicap link. And that's an attempt to bring a low-cost, affordable handicap system that gets more people signed into a system. And it's if you're a golf nerd, you're going to love the stats that are available through the Greatest Golfer handicap system. It's actually put together, again, by our friends over at Golf League Site. And part of that partnership with Golf League Site was they also, in addition to the handicap software, they also have Golf League management software, and you really got to check them out. They've been pretty popular in Maryland, probably 40 leagues going in Maryland. They got a couple leagues starting in Iowa. Some Iowa leagues have called them. Some Florida leagues have called them. So if you've not had a chance to click through Greatest to get to Golf League Site, it's the Golf Vault GLS on our website. Check out what he's doing. He's a Girard guy, Mark Walters, and he's the partner that I have going for our software and for the handicap. So doing some amazing things with that side of the business, and eager to keep working with him personally, but also think if you check it out for Golf League management software, as well as our Greatest handicap thing, you'll enjoy that as well. So prior to COVID, Greatest was on a great relaunch coming out of the closure of the Vindicator. And took 8 weeks to figure out what we can do, but I think here we are, Mother's Day Sunday. It's actually been our traditional start of Greatest. For those of you who've been with us since 2010, you know that the registration form generally kicks off around Mother's Day. So we're actually still on schedule despite essentially sitting on the shelf for 8 weeks. So here we are, and we're ready to go. Our golf partners are as eager as ever. Our sponsors, they still want to stay with us. Again, there's just been some budget hits. One thing I would ask for some folks out there, we're still short on funds for Youngstown. You know, most of our sponsors come into that $3,000 to $5,000 range, but we also have a lot of sponsorships available at $1,000. All those sponsorships at $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, they all come with opportunities to play in Greatest. If you're a Greatest player and you're going to play in the event anyway, and you have a business that's got some marketing dollars, and you managed okay through COVID, I'd love for you to take a look at us this year, partner with us, be patient, because this is going to be a year of evolution for us, recovering from COVID, but also just getting our feet under the ground after the Vindy closure. That said, I'm fully confident. If you like what we've built since 2010, I know you're going to love what we build over the next 12 months. And we just need to get some patient steps started, and funders who can come in with us now, invest $1,000 to $5,000 toward our event sponsorship. It'll be a great help to golf, but you'll also help develop our nice self-contained community of golfers. And we know what golfers like to do. We know what golfers like to spend. So I think as we look at this digital age and thousands of places to advertise, I think it's pretty cool if we can build our own community within the Valley, and we know we have direct access to each other. We can share our best tips for electric services, for beer service, for restauranting, for car buying, for grocery stores, and become a direct-to-consumer opportunity is what I think Greatest Golfer can become. So if you're a sponsor, if you're a business owner, you have access to those kind of marketing dollars, we'd really be grateful if you take a look at it and help us get over the hump and make Greatest 2020 bigger and better than ever. So with that, we are thrilled to be at this point. We didn't know what COVID would allow. Again, we are saddened for all of our friends who suffered over the last 8 weeks. We're not out of it. There's going to be some more suffering. But I think we're eager to also get started and see how we can live with this. We're going to live with this for a long time. And the golf community's been out in force. packed over at Pine Lakes, packed at Reserve Run, busy at Lake Club. Mill Creek was sold out. I know up in Trumbull they've been busy as well. So the golf community's hungry, and Greatest has just wanted to serve the golf community and react to what golfers would find interesting and fun to live within their space. So we are just pleased to be here and eager to get 2020 going. So find me on email, toddfranco@gmail. If you have the opportunity to play, watch for registration starting this week. If you have the opportunity to sponsor, please find me as well. And just become a fan of the Greatest site. Our email list is on there. Please subscribe to the email. Find us on Facebook, like us, find us on Instagram, follow us, and let's take some really cool steps toward building a neat community for the Valley and for our friends. Thank you very much.